This is my inspiration for this DIY, and these were sconces that I made previously. I will put the link in the description down below so you guys could see that DIY. And this is what I created from that inspiration. I hope you guys stay tuned so you guys can see how I made this. And it's just a piece that you can sit across the room and admire. Masking tape from the Dollar Tree to put it to guide me, and I just put it straight, making sure that the tape is the width of this part here, okay? Because I'm gonna start cutting right there. Here, I'm just taking a soldering tool, what some call a hot knife. There's another name for it, I don't know it. But all I am doing is very carefully, without burning myself, I am going to cut those sides of that ladle. Once you're done, this is what you should have once those sides have been removed. Remove the masking tape. Then we're going to take this 2-pack of foam, floral foam that we purchased from the Dollar Tree. We're going to take that mirror right there that is also a previous DIY. We're going to take that template that comes inside the masking tape. We're going to use it as our guide to make a perfect circle on one of those styro foam or floral foam, whatever you choose to call it. Then I'm taking the X-Acto knife and being very careful. I am going to cut out that circle that I made here. I'm just pressing down very carefully all the way around until it loosens and it comes out. Because due to the fact that it is a floral foam, it could break easily. These are some fairy lights that I purchased from Walmart. Now I'm taking the other floral foam and I'm doing the exact same thing, only this time I am cutting out the perfect square where that fairy light box is gonna go in. As you can see, that's what it looks like. I am going to take, it fits perfectly. I'm going to take some felt because I'm going to place this on top of a console. I don't want my console to get scratched up, so I am measuring that round floral foam on top of that felt, and I am going to be cutting that trace line that I made on the inside of the trace line, not on the outside but on the inside, so it fits very snug on the inside of that styrofoam or floral foam. Now what I am doing is I'm just showing you how it fits in there perfectly. I am going to use some paper plates from a previous DIY. I'm going to put that floral foam on top. I'm going to cut a circular shape because these are going to be hot glued to the styrofoam to cover up that box before I put that felt on it, because as you can remember, you don't want to glue the felt on top of the styrofoam because you have to be able to open and close the styrofoam. So I'm taking 2 of those paper plates and I'm making like a sandwich type thing. And what I am going to do is on one of them, it's going to be the completed circle. On the other one, it's just going to be a quarter of a circle with that square shape cut in the middle. And I'm going to show you how I glue it, because me saying what I'm doing may not make sense to some of you. So right there, as you can see, this one is not a full circle, but that one I am cutting that circle out of the middle of it. And then both of these circles right there on that little edge that this one has is going to go hot glued on that regular circle shape one. Here I am taking some Velcro that I purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I am measuring a piece to go on the sides of that 3/4 of a circle that I cut out with the square in the middle. That piece of Velcro I'm going to cut in half because it doesn't need to be that thick. Then I'm going to cut another piece and put it on the top part. And I am going to glue all of this with the hot glue gun. Once I hot glue that with the hot glue gun on that circle, I am going to put hot glue on the Velcro and hot glue both pieces together, and the Velcro is going to be sandwiched in between the two paper plate circles that I cut out. This is so that when you want to change the batteries in that fairy light pack, or you want to turn on the switch, it's easier for you to do so. I'm using some Krylon spray paint metallic silver to spray paint those floral foams on one side each, and the battery pack for the fairy lights. I covered the fairy lights up so they wouldn't get paint on them. And then once that is painted and dry, I'm going to put them to the side. I'm going to spray paint the ladle handles on both sides. I'm going to spray the one side, wait till it dries completely, then I'm going to spray paint the other side. After I've done that, I am going to give it a light mist of gold spray paint so that I can achieve the champagne color that I am going for. This is another previous DIY that I made where I took some Dollar Tree mirrors and I removed some of the reflective part in it, and I made a DIY with it. I will also link that in the description box below. Here I'm just taking some diamond wrap that I purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to hot glue it on the inside of that styrofoam or floral foam that I cut that circle part out. And I'm going to do that all the way around the entire circle. Here I've already cut some of the pieces of the diamond wrap. Now I'm going to trace that floral foam on top of the other one. As you can see, it leaves me a line where I know not to put the diamond wrap around it, because that's going to be where I have to hot glue both of the floral foams together. Now I'm going to take those pieces of diamond wrap that I've cut to shape, and I'm going to hot glue them onto that bottom styrofoam or floral foam, and that's the one that's going to hold the fairy light under. So for that part, I am going to glue 2 strips of the diamond wrap, but it's not going to go glued all the way covering right here. I put the box under there, and even though it looks like I'm going to cover the whole entire thing with the diamond wrap, I am. But the only thing I am going to use the hot glue gun to attach right there, just on that side, a strip and another strip on the other side of hot glue. And in the middle, that diamond wrap is not going to be attached to the square that has been cut out. So that battery pack can be removed. Here I'm hot gluing that top styrofoam to the second square styrofoam. Here I'm stringing the fairy lights in the middle of where those two pieces of bling wrap meet that I didn't hot glue to where that battery pack is going to be at. Here I'm going to hot glue those circles that I cut out earlier from those paper plates, and I'm going to hot glue them to the floral foam. Here I'm just wrapping the fairy lights around the inside of those two floral foams, like around 3 times. Then I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue there on the edge of that circle styrofoam to hold it outside, because I'm going to hot glue the mirror on top of there. And I want to continue with the fairy lights above it. I'm going to fill up the inside cavity with some diamond fillers and some clear acrylic fillers from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to place that DIY that I did previously on the edge or on top, as you can see, of that circular styrofoam that the fairy lights are in there, and it's filled up with fillers. And now I'm going to continue with them string of fairy lights, and I'm going to continue with the circular motion, and I'm going to take some diamond wrap. Before I continue with the fairy lights, I'm going to cover up the floral foam with some diamond wrap, and I'm going to do that all the way around. And I'm going to start on one where that fairy light string meets the mirror slash glass. I am going to start the diamond wrap right there on that edge, and I'm going to cover up the whole entire base in diamond wrap. By this stage, this is what you should have. Now I'm going to take some of these acrylic nuggets, because they're not diamonds and they come with the tea light that changes color. I'm going to take those and I am going to make like a type of crystal formation. And as I am doing that, doing it upward, I am going to string the fairy lights around it, so that when I turn the fairy lights on, the crystals illuminate it. I used 3 packs of these gems, and I purchased them from the Dollar Tree. Here I'm wrapping the fairy lights upward as I create those crystals going up. While that dries, I'm going to take all 3 of the ladle handles, and I already put some Mod Podge and some champagne color glitter on the one side. Now I'm going to put the Mod Podge and the champagne glitter on the other side, and I accomplished the champagne looking glitter by mixing silver and gold glitter together. Now I'm going to take single strips of the diamond wrap, and I'm going to hot glue them all the way around the outer edge of all 3 of those ladles. Here I'm taking a Q-tip and I'm using some of that fix or adhesive to put it all the way around the edge of that beer glass that is going to be my cover for that piece right there. And I am putting enough, but I am doing it carefully so that it doesn't get all over the place. Now that the glitter is dry on the ladles, I am going to take strips of diamond wrap and I am going to hot glue them on the middle of each of the ladles, and I'm going to do that on the outside and the inside of each of them. Now I'm going to take all 3 ladles, and as you can see there, it looks like a cross, but then I take the 3rd ladle and I put it in between those 2 to create something that would look like a vase. Once I am happy with the way it looks and the way it feels and it looks even on all sides, I am going to take some E6000 and some hot glue. It's not really 6000, it's the Dollar Tree brand of Fix It or adhesive. But anyway, I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to hold them there, and then I'm going to put some of that Fix or adhesive right there, as you can see, and that's going to hold it together. But it's also going to stay in place because I'm going to take some diamond wrap and I'm going to wrap it around that top edge. Not only is it going to hold it together, but it's going to give it that little touch of bling bling. Now I'm taking the soldering tool or the hot knife, whatever it's called, because it goes by a couple of different names, and I'm going to puncture holes on all 3 of those handles, and I'm going to do it on the top and I'm going to do it on the bottom. And this is where I'm going to hang my crystals. I purchased these crystals from Amazon a while back. But if you just go to Amazon and you punch in crystals, um, chandelier crystals or teardrop crystals, a whole bunch of stuff will come up. And honestly, I've found that the prices for the Amazon crystals are better and they are real crystals. Here I am adding those crystals to where I made those holes on each end of those ladles. Now I'm going to use some of these diamond fillers in that little Dollar Tree candle holder. And now I am seeing exactly where I want to glue the ladle part to it. And now I am going to use some Fix All adhesive, and I am going to also use my hot glue gun so that I can hot glue it together. And I'm going to hold it in place so that when the hot glue dries, it's not tilted to one side, but it is even. Here's the finished DIY. I'm going to give you a few tips on this area where I made the crystals with the fairy lights. In the areas where you can see the hot glue, what I did was with a thin paintbrush, I added some Mod Podge, then I sprinkled it with some silver glitter. I also did that on the area where that tea light from the Dollar Tree meets the bottom of that glass. And I did it on the tea light with silver and on the bottom of the glass with champagne color. And then in between those ladles, what I put there was one of these novelty diamond rings or engagement rings that you buy at the kids section at the Dollar Tree. It's, I think, a toy. They also have them out for Valentine's Day. But what I did was I removed that gem part of the ring and I just hot glue it in between those ladles. And that's it. This is what I was inspired to do by just sitting across from my living room and looking at the sconces that I had made before. I really didn't do a sketch for this one. I just did it as I went along, and I'm actually happy with my results. So guys, I hope you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel so that I can bring you more DIYs. And I hope everyone has a blessed night. Just to let you guys know, if you haven't noticed, I changed the name of the channel from Blanky's Creations to Blanky's Home Decor and More. And I'm going to be bringing some home decor, and I'm going to be doing a couple of other things, and that's why I changed the name of the channel. I hope you guys stick with me and we can grow together, and I hope you all have a blessed night.